More the same.
More the same.
It's getting easier. I mean,
Uh-huh.
both the travel and the getting up and the work is getting
Mm-hmm.
easier, but tired just the same.
I
Not
can
as
imagine.
tired though. At least I can stay up for 5 minutes when I get in the house.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, welcome everybody. Happy Friday evening.
Friday.
Welcome to Into the Woods. This is Dwayne.
This is Danita. Hi, everyone.
And we hope you had a great week and are ready for the weekend. If you happen
Yeah.
to be working over the weekend, we will keep you in mind and make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure when you get off or whatever shift you're on, that you
Mm-hmm.
are doing some stuff to take care of you. Okay, this is Into the Woods, like we said, and we're the woods, and we talk about ourselves, we talk about our situations, and hopefully you could
Mm-hmm.
identify some of the things that we're saying, some of the
Right.
situations we may find ourselves in. And as we learn about it, as we learn about ourselves, you learn about yourselves, we can come out of the woods together. Get it? Into the woods,
Mhm.
out of the woods. So, Danita, what's been going? So, I thought about you this week.
Did you?
I was doing a video,
Mm-hmm.
and I was creating a thumbnail for one of my videos,
Mm-hmm.
and the thumbnail that pulled up in Canva was the picture that's on your fear journal, and
Oh,
my video was actually on fear, and so when I
really?
searched for fear, yeah, so I actually used it.
Mm-hmm.
I think what did I use it on the thing? I think I used it. I ended up using part of it
Okay.
on the video I was doing. Yeah,
Oh, cool.
um, so I was like,
Nice.
hey, look at that, the neatest stuff. Yeah, yeah. So it was
Nice. Nice.
I was talking about letting go of fear
Mm-hmm.
is what my video was on. So when it
Okay.
came up, I was like,
Okay.
cool, that's nice.
It's appropriate. Look. Yeah.
So tell us about
Mhm.
your week. So what's been going on? So this is week number 4, I think, right? Or no, 3
Yeah.
of
So
work.
now, well, by the time I get back Monday would have been a month,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's getting easier. Like it's you would
Mm-hmm.
ask me before. It's getting easier. The work is getting easier. Me and my boss not looking at each other, not wanting to kill each other now. Because
Mm-hmm.
now I can ask questions like intelligent questions. Now I see errors and things that like, well, this is not what you said, and isn't this wrong? Like, So now it's getting easier. So I like it. So,
Okay.
but just still the commute is just like something got to give. So I've
Mm.
always been that person. Oh, I'm not working from home.
Okay.
I think I want to be working from home.
Work from home. Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah,
that's good,
because
right?
yeah, that's good. So I mean, it's easy enough to do.
Mm-hmm.
Where I was before, I felt like I needed to use a lot of paper,
Mm-hmm.
but everything is in the computer. So, but I have a problem. I told you this last week, and now I'm getting more acclimated to billing for you doctors. I have a problem. I'm gonna say it again this week.
Mm-hmm.
Why y'all can't put everything that's necessary to do the billing when you guys ask for the request or you like bill this? Like, why can't we get everything? Why we gotta go back and ask you 3 and 4 and 5 times?
Like
Like,
what?
can we
Anything
have
like
the
what?
information?
Like what?
Like picks codes. Like, can I have the diagnosis? Hello,
Yeah,
I need
diabetes,
that. What?
diabetes, or thyroid, or whatever.
Yeah, but hello. So
Mm-hmm.
any old ones have just put on for whatever code.
Mm-hmm. We
You
don't
know,
know the
you have a
code.
series. You don't know code. You don't.
You know.
You don't know the diagnosis and stuff that you're using.
Yeah. Yeah,
No, y'all just.
we don't, yeah, we just put we our diagnosis is diabetes mellitus or hypothyroidism. You figure
So
out the code.
y'all do longhand, and we gotta figure out the code.
Yeah, yeah, we're not coders, we're doctors.
We gonna be fighting as I get more
I'm
acclimated.
just
I'm
saying. I'm just
telling you.
saying. Everybody has their job, right? And my job is to see the patient and to, in the chart, put what the patient has. And what the patient has is diabetes. Right? If the insurance needs a code, then the coding people need to put a code on there.
Okay, because what they're doing, because they will send it to us to schedule and bill, right? So I have to schedule, you come in, but then they forget all the other information. They're like, "Oh, can you bill?" Okay, so I have to bill. Like, what did you do? What exactly did you do? Because each code has its own amount.
Yep.
So you want the highest one, so you give me a code, you just say something, I'm gonna build the lowest one. Then you mad at me because, like, give me the information.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying.
So that's a whole yeah. So you opening up a can of worms here.
I'm just saying.
Open a can of worms.
You want to, cause don't come back to me talking about the report is wrong. I'm like,
you know what? You know what we want? You know what we want? You know what we want?
What?
We want to see a patient, right? And we want to write what the patient has.
Right.
And we want to write what our treatment is and what our plan is. And we want to get paid for that. We don't want to go back and have to do codes and numbers and how many minutes we did this and how many this we did. That's not what we went to school for. We went to school to see patients, and we went to school to treat patients. So all this stuff that the insurance companies and the organizations are asking us to do, we don't like it. We don't want to do it. We don't like it, and we resent it.
Oh, all right. Well,
I'm just saying.
After the woods.
You know, because it's crazy. So I mean, and it's in everything. It's in everything. So I see a patient, and I decide that this patient should be on this particular medication, and I send that medication. And before I even hit the button that says send, I get this paper back from the pharmacy. This is not covered, right? So the insurance company says you can't use that medication. You have got to try this other medication. And I think it's kind of like me trying to build a house, or you building a house, or if you're out there, you're listening, you're building a house and you're trying to put up this wall, and the guy who's putting up the wall says to you, you know what? You can't use this material. We're going to give you this other material. And if that material fails, like if your wall falls down, then you can come back and we'll give you this other stuff that really works. Okay. And so, see, that's, you got me on my little thing.
I'm just saying.
So same thing with the billing, right? So I want to get paid for what I did. Right. And the amount of time that I have to spend to, in my chart, justify and to put in codes and all this stuff for what I did, I don't want to do that. So, I mean, and I'm not sure what, I'm not speaking for your doctors at your place. For me, I know codes because when I was in residency, they trained us on codes. And then, of course, they changed from the ICD-9 to ICD-10, so I had to relearn the codes. And I have people in my office that I have taught them the codes. Okay. And so I don't put a code in anymore. I put the so they put in the diagnoses codes, right? And I put in the billing level. That's what I end up putting in, because I do that, and then we send it to the biller. So when the biller gets our stuff, most of the time it is, I mean, the codes are in there. I mean, I get messages from her every now and then that says, hey, you did this thing, can you change the code? But I try when I lock the note and we send it to them, that it's in there. So I do it.
But you don't like it.
But I don't like it.
Well, I get a whole list And they're like, schedule and bill, schedule and bill, schedule and
Hmm.
bill. All right. Bill what?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
So
guess
so
I
I
guess
I
they're
get it.
coders. They're coders, but then it's like you're looking for the maximum amount of money, right?
Hmm.
I don't what am I billing?
Right. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
what am I billing? So,
So it's a broken system, and you're right. So at the hospital, for example, I have so you write your note, and
mhm.
and so I'm telling the secrets now. So you write your note, and you leave, and then someone is coming back and they're looking and they're like, okay, hey, did you really mean to bill, or did you really mean to write such and such? Because at the hospital, when we write notes, we don't put billing codes. Like we don't really, not that we don't care, but that's not what we do.
We
So at the
do.
hospital, when I write my note, and well, I'm doing this because I used to write paper notes, but now everything's electronic. So when we
Mhm.
put those diagnoses in, then the biller now has to go back and take those
Coded.
diagnoses and change them into codes, and then that goes to the
Mhm.
insurance company. So I think it's an inefficient system, right?
Mhm.
But it's a system that we have allowed to develop, and now we're suffering the consequences of where it is. Because there's terminology that we use, right? So patient has a high white count, their blood pressure is low,
Mhm.
and so there are these, they've got some bacteria in their blood. And so I've written those things, high white count and low blood pressure, that
Mhm.
hypotension and
Mhm.
whatever. And so now the biller is coming back, and so I have those things in my note. And if they bill that, they get one type of payment.
Mhm.
And so the person I forgot what they're called, and so they come back and they say, hey, this patient has low blood pressure, high white count, bacteria
It
in their
should be this
blood.
code.
Would it be better to call them bacteremic or septic, right? Because if I code them as septic, then I
You
get
get
more
high.
money. Well, I don't get more
Mhm.
money because the hospital gets more money.
More money. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what we've created is, and that works. And here's the other unfair thing, because the hospital has this person that's going back and making all those changes or asking for
Mhm.
all those, and the hospital gets that money, right? There's
Mhm.
nobody going back and looking at my billing. I mean, my biller in my office does that, but there's
Yeah.
nobody, I've got to do that myself, right? So
Yeah.
I'm paying somebody to get my money. The hospital is paying somebody to get their money, and the other doctor that's on the case is paying their biller to get their money. And so
Mhm.
if you've got, if you come in and you're ill, I bet
Mhm.
you have probably a cardiologist on board, right? You have
Mhm.
a nephrologist on board. You have a hospitalist on board, because sometimes the cardiologists and nephrologists don't admit. You've got maybe a pharmacist if you're in the ICU that's on board. Of course, you got your nurse, right? That's there. And if
Mhm.
you're diabetic, you got me, right? So
Yeah.
that's six people. And all of
It's a lot of
us,
people.
unless we work for the hospital, all of us are paying separate people to bill,
Mhm.
right? So sometimes people wonder, well, why does healthcare cost so much? That's one of the reasons that healthcare costs so much, because we're duplicating all these things. And yeah, so anyway. Hey guys.
Just saying. Two opposite
So,
ends meeting in the middle.
so you got all right. Yeah, yeah, that's a whole.
That's a
I've got some very
whole.
interesting ideas about that process, that whole process. So as you see.
Oh, you do. Yeah, it's and I already feel me. I'm gonna be sending out some nice
Some
emails.
notes, some emails.
I've already started, like
So
like
did you not think that this should
yeah,
be
like,
like this?
if I feel like saying, if you want accurate billing, I would
Hmm.
very much appreciate that you would add such and such and such. I love helping you, but in order to help you more
Hmm.
efficiently, I need you to give me these things right here.
You give me these codes, right? That's funny. That's funny.
so,
So, but yeah, it's and I think at one point I thought about getting into hospital administration and all those, because they said you can't really fix a system from the outside. You've got to be in there,
yes,
right? In
definitely,
as
that's
part
true.
of it. But it really did not kind of fit at the time where I saw myself. I think more now, I may fit in that space, right?
Okay.
Because I've learned more about the system and billing and insurance and so forth. At the time, when I was, it was really just affecting me, and I was just mad. Now I've learned more about how things work and why things work, and even there is the thought, I guess in my mind even, that there are things, and I understand why insurances do what they do, right?
Yeah, well, why?
Because I give the example of for diabetics, right? So one test strip where patients are checking their blood sugars.
You did say
One
that.
of those, it's about $1 per strip, right? $1 per strip. We have about 37 million people in the country.
Okay.
So if we have every one of those use one strip per day, that's $37 million.
It's true.
Okay. So, but we're not just trying to get them to do it once a day. We're trying to get some of those patients to do 3-4 times a day. So per day, right? Let's just round up. So 37. Let's round it up to 40 million. Let's say 40 million people, and we try to get them. Let's say minimum. We try to get them to do 3 times a day. 3 times 4 is 12. That's a lot of money. So that's 40 million 3 times a day times 365 days. So I know if I'm an insurance company, I'm sitting up in my office and I'm looking at this money. I'm like, dude, no, you can only check one. And so sometimes we'll write that we want patients to check their blood sugars 3 times a day, and the insurance company will come back and say, you got to justify that. Why do you want them to check 3 times a day? Tell me why. And so now we got to. So I check 3 times a day. They get it. They bounce back. Hey, so all of a sudden I've got this piece of paper I've got to fill out. Well, who fills out the paper? Right. So my team and me. So now we've got to take time, that paper. We got to go to the patient's chart. We got to review the chart. Right. We got to put whatever they want on there. Then I've got to sign it. Then I've got to send it back. So, and people think that, it's like, everything it just goes like, no, it takes time. It takes time. Because that thing comes in the fax, and then somebody has to take it out of the fax, attach it to the patient's chart. Then they've got to search in and fill in all the stuff they need. Then they've got to come to me, and I've got to review it. And then I've got to sign it, and then that person has to fax it back. Right? So that's not like...
And then there's a 30-day turnaround.
Right. So that's not just one, that's not just a second or a minute. That's like 3-4 minutes. And so if you see 30 patients a day, and half of those patients, you send off something, you get a piece of paper back. Yeah. So I've got a gal in my office, and all she does is, well, I shouldn't say now, not all she does now, but
Majority.
between the people who do that kind of stuff for me in the office, I could easily, let's say, if I take what she does, and I can have a single person that all their job is to do forms and respond to insurance companies.
Wow.
And that costs money.
It does. That's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
A lot of work.
So.
Yeah.
And some of it is
All
unnecessary. What we should have is like a universal form. Now, don't get on me, right? About universal. Don't get on that word. What we need is a form, because every insurance company, every hospital, every pharmacy, almost has a different form that requires the same amount of information. Like it's designed differently, right?
Yeah, because
But
they want to be different. It's
but the
distinct.
patient's
Okay, when you
name,
see,
phone number, date of birth, diagnosis is on the form. So why don't everybody use the same form? That's a whole nother conversation. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking now.
no, why? Because I mean, if they all have the same form, like it's easy to get stuff mixed up. You've got, I could name companies. I could
Sure.
name insurances. You got Aetna, you got Cigna, you got United Healthcare,
Blue
you got
Cross.
Blue Cross, so you have all these insurances, right? And they all coming in. It'd be very helpful if you could distinguish between the forms and say, okay, this is United Healthcare or this is Aetna. If they all look the same, you're gonna get all mixed up.
No, just put a
Can't
big
do
thing
that.
on the top that says Aetna.
Really?
Same form, but on the form, the only unique thing that the form should have is like a
Is the
big
name.
bold. It's kind of like on the screen right now, right? People can tell you are different from me because at the bottom there's my name and there's your name. So on the form, just put a big block, and if it's an Aetna form, put Aetna in there. But everything else on the form is exactly the same.
No, people, if you working real quick and you shouldn't be working really fast and mess up, you're gonna mistake it. I
No.
would.
I'm not saying like a little thing, Danita. I'm talking. You see my
a
hat?
huge,
You see
big-
my hat? You see that NY? Ain't nobody gonna mistake that.
Okay. Well,
Right?
why
So
don't
that's
you
all.
present
My
it?
shirt,
You-
Reebok. Ain't nobody mistaking that. Yeah, but if you put it in a little teeny little thing,
Of
they're gonna
course.
mistake that. But I'm talking about like across the whole front of the paper, like
The
the
whole
first
top.
half the whole top should be like Blue Cross, Aetna, United. What are the other ones? Health Spring.
Mm-hmm.
Let's call all in there. Medicare, Medicaid. Let's call them out.
Medicare. I don't know.
P-HIP.
I never heard of P-HIP.
Your P-HIP. That's the teachers down here. I don't know if it's just down here or yeah.
Okay,
teachers.
across the nation. Okay. Well, it sounds like you have a case.
I'm saying
I think you
that
should,
that would be
I
my
think
thing.
you
I'd be
should
like,
present it.
we should start ground. If you're out there, everybody, let's start a grassroots movement to have all the forms the same except for the name.
I think we should start. We should start.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, one of the people in my team, they come and look at, can you sign this? Can you sign this? And they're this is a CME. This is a prior authorization. This is a this. This is a driver's license form. Because down here for patients who are diabetic, right? They've got to fill out this form, driver's license and all kind of stuff. And all the information is it's the same. It's the same stuff. It's
It
just
drives you nuts, huh?
like this one has it over here and that one has it down here.
Drives you nuts. I can see.
And then we get these notes, right? It says, "Hey, your patient, we think your patient should be on this medication, or your patient." No, what does it say? Oh, you have prescribed, or it's a note to the patient. Your doctor has prescribed drug X. Your plan does not cover drug X.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, these are it may or may not say these are the alternatives. Sometimes it doesn't say that. It says, please talk to your doctor to find out an alternative, right? And down at the bottom, right, in little tiny writing, it says, we are not physicians and we do not intend to treat patients. This should be based on your clinical judgment. Well, I already made a clinical judgment. My clinical judgment was that the drug X is what I wanted them to have.
And they said
Right.
no.
And they said no. And so now they send the patient back to me to say, hey, you go to your doctor and ask him for another drug. And I'm like, no. I'm not giving no more drug. I already gave the one I want. You tell me now
And
what you're going to pay for. And if you tell me what I'm going to pay for, then I'll write that one. But what
so
they
they want you to
do,
go pick and choose.
they want me to go pick and choose. And then they say, oh, they're not physicians. They're not making clinical judgment. Yes, you are making a clinical judgment. Because
Yeah,
you said
saying I have no
that
paper.
you have decided that my clinical judgment is not appropriate for that patient.
Wow, that's crazy.
Boom, boom, boom.
That's a lot of work.
We need to have this show like this. Yeah, come on.
Man, listen, I know it was like that. I was just saying from my side, trying to help you out.
Oh, yeah. Let's go back to your side now.
I was just saying, just trying to help you out, help you get the maximum payment. I just need the right information. Oh my gosh. Well, I'll be
But
nice to the doctors now.
no,
I'll
like
be
I said,
nicer.
I understand everybody's trying to do their job. So so sometimes
Yeah.
I have to kind of just bring it down because I'm
Break
like,
it
okay,
down.
the billing person asked me for a code. She's just trying to do her job to bill, right? So so I can be all indignant if I want, and if I don't give her a code, guess what? I won't get paid. So even though I don't like the system, if I decide, well, I'm standing up, I'm not giving nobody codes. Okay, well, you cannot give codes. Guess what? You don't get
You
no
no
money.
money.
No code,
None.
no money.
Zero.
So,
Wow.
so you kind of fall
Y'all
in
see
line, and I think that's
a
where it
lot of people.
happens. Oh yeah.
Huh? Y'all see
I say-
a lot.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying you guys see a lot of patients in a day just to kind of capture a decent amount of money. I never really knew because I mean one doctor can at least they have 20 patients a day.
At least. I know.
That's a
Yeah.
lot.
It's a lot of patience.
That's a lot of mental stress. A day, 20 people a day. And I'm sure y'all hope they cancel.
Well, you know what? So here's the thing, right? So and we talk about this with our team, and one of the things that we say is, sure, it would be great to be here and see 3 patients, right? Because you can spend all the time you want with the patients. You can hour. You can talk about their cousin, their mama. You can talk about the stuff they drank last night. You talk about when they went out on the cruise. But when we see 3 patients, we don't get paid for the other patients that didn't come,
No.
right? So sure, it would be great to just be in the office and you just hanging out. But when you hang out, somebody got to go home because we can't pay you.
Yeah.
You can hang out at the house. You can you can go hang out at the house, right? So there's always that balance between the numbers and because. Did I get into? Sure, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna say it. So doctors have practices
Yes.
for the same reason that the car dealer has an office.
That has an office.
Yeah. You know what that is? What the reason is?
What?
To make money.
Well, yeah, everybody's
Well, that's true, but people don't like to hear that when it comes to doctor, right?
Okay.
Everybody else can make money, but if the doctor starts talking about money, oh, he's greedy.
Everything you do, anything that you do that helps people, everybody's in it to make money. And you guys are helping people, making sure we stay alive and, any ailments that come up. Why shouldn't you guys make money?
Why should we make
You
money? Okay,
should.
right. So with the way things are structured, right? So I make money from patients that I see in the office.
Right.
Okay. So if I decided, hey, I want more money, what do I have to do?
See more patients.
See more patients. But
Right.
there's only so many patients that I physically can see.
Right.
So at some point, that's capped.
Yes.
I mean, by virtue of,
Yeah.
just sanity.
You human, of course.
Just by sanity, right? And so, in order for us to see more patients, in order for us to get more money, now we're talking about bringing on additional providers,
Okay.
right? So I can bring on another physician provider,
Mm-hmm.
and that physician provider is going to cost me the same amount, or I mean, not exactly the same, but like me, right? So they're not coming in to make a whole lot less than I do, because they're like, hey, dude, I'm just one. I'm like you. We the same people.
Right. Right.
Okay. So what a lot of doctors have done is they've brought in like nurse practitioners and physician assistants, right? Because they can see more patients together and they don't cost as much.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So now I'm seeing more patients, but my cost has gone down
Down.
because my provider, the extender, physician extender is what they're called. So my provider doesn't cost as much as I do. And these are not real numbers. I'm just going to use a sample number,
Yeah.
right? So let's assume that another physician, if I brought another physician in, then that physician costs $120,000 per year. Right? A physician provider may cost me $80,000 a year.
Yeah. That's
Right.
a
So
big
I've saved $40,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so as we get into the, hey, we need to make more money, for whatever reason. I mean, just for the same reason the car dealer wants to make more money, because he trying to buy a bigger house, or kid got to go to college. I got a kid who's getting ready to go to high school. We're thinking about 4 years from now. What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Right? He's growing like a weed, so we got to buy new clothes, new shoes.
Do everything.
Know everything. So so you get that money thing, and then it goes on and on and on and so forth.
Wow. I didn't know that was a doctor's life. It's a lot. I'm learning a lot from this new job.
Well, that's good. That's good. And right. So as you're learning, this is new content.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Right. This is new content, right?
Okay.
So I know you're doing
we had a whole conversation about.
Yeah. So you're doing your journals, but this is new stuff that you've been doing billing for how many years now? Can we say that?
A lot.
Can you?
26 years.
26 years. I mean, think of what and this is a new situation you're in, but your billing experience that you've done for 26 years is of value.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I never
So I had a guy come to us at church, and he's like, hey, I want to do something online, but I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was like, well, what do you do? And so he told us what he did. I said, well, that's your content right there.
Okay.
He's like, well, I was thinking of something else. I was like, why? Are you an expert on something else? And how long have you been doing this? 15 years. Do you have something else that you've done for 15 years that you could talk about? No. Okay. Well, don't try to find something else. What you did for 15 years, that's it right there.
That's good. 1 second. I'm sorry.
While you do that, I'm going to create a little thing over here. Let's see. Let's put this one in there.
Okay.
That.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah. I ordered some food.
What did you order?
Oh my gosh, glass noodles. What do you call those?
Glass
I
noodles?
forget the name. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I forget the name, how to say it. But they're glass noodles. Yeah.
Okay.
They're 0 calories. Because it's late.
All right, boom. Okay, there we go. So I've been cooking more
What have
recently.
you been doing?
Well,
What have you been
I'm trying to
making?
design. So I've been watching all this. Social media is
Cooking
crazy.
stuff.
So I've been watching all this stuff on the social media. All these people cooking stuff, and I'm like, I can cook, and so I'm working on designing some seasoning. Right. So
Oh.
I'm designing some seasoning, and so I've got a bunch of chicken that I cooked. So I keep using different versions of it. I cook it and I put it in the freezer.
Oh my
So we
gosh.
got all this food in this freezer. So anyway, so I made some fried rice recently. Two versions of fried rice and some mushrooms. So I had shiitake mushrooms, portobellas, and regular mushrooms all mixed together, cooked down in a balsamic
Okay.
vinegar sauce. Always delicious. Yeah, that's good. So anyway, so I
Okay.
took that to work, and so my team ate it, and
And then
like
like,
they said it was okay. They said it was good. They said they lopped it up. But I think yeah, I want to cook something so that they like not just, oh yeah, those good. It's like, okay, can you bring some more?
hold on
Right.
a
So
second.
I'm trying to get above there. What?
Sorry. No, somebody's at my door.
Oh, you want to go? You need to go?
No. We're
Okay. Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. So that's what I want. So when they get some, they're like, okay, when are you bringing more? Not just, okay, that was good. I was like, it's like, no, bring more. Are we coming to your house to get some? Like slap
You
your
need to
mama
make
good.
them that carrot cake is what you need to do.
Well, yeah.
That's what you need to do.
I've not made carrot cake in years. Wow. Long
Yeah,
time.
well, since you're cooking, try that.
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
That was, oh my God, I still remember it.
Carrot cake.
It was good. Huh?
That was the bomb. It was good.
It
And then I
was.
started
What?
making cheesecake.
Huh?
And then I started making cheesecake.
That's true. But what made you start making cakes? Is it like the same situation now? You saw something somewhere, you said, oh, I'm going to try it. Is that what happened?
There was I'm thinking back. I want to say, back, and I don't know, I guess kids still do that kind of stuff when you sell stuff, right? So back in those days, we used to have to sell stuff. It was a fundraiser. And one of the things that we sold plants, and you got a prize. And I think one of the prizes I got was a stack of recipes,
Okay.
and in the recipes was a carrot cake,
Okay. And that's
and
where it
so
started.
that's where it started. And so I started making the carrot cake, and then I would add my own stuff, and
Mhm.
so I think that's where that came from.
They have carrot cheesecakes?
I'm assuming you can make a carrot cheesecake.
I think you should try it.
So it depends on how you want that to be. So I mean, a couple of things I think right now you can do carrot juice. You can juice the carrot,
Yeah. And
and
then,
so that the cheesecake is smooth. But if you want the texture of carrots in it, that might be a little
gotta grate it.
interesting. Yeah, you got to get
you
it
can put it
really
on
fine.
top.
Oh, yeah, you
You
can
could
put it on top.
caramelize it and put it on top.
Yep. That's right. You can do that.
You could try it. I don't cook,
You know what I'm
guys.
trying to
I'm
learn?
cook-
You can tell me this, Danita. So what I'm trying to learn is how much sugar do you put in to offset the salt? Right? I mean, and I know it's to taste, but
Yeah, I wouldn't. That's the
yeah, but
answer I would give to taste because I mean, there's no real measurement to it. Like salty is salty. Like you
right.
really gotta put some stuff in there. So I really don't. I really don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
Why? What did you have to offset with salt and
oh
sweet?
no, it's just
Just a question.
So when you cook, right?
Yeah.
So I never used to put sugar
In your food.
in food, right? So for me, sweet was sweet and savory was savory, right? Two different things. But they will put sugar in savory food just to get that extra flavor, right?
Yeah, it adds. It kind of
adds-
brings it out. Brings out the flavor and the heat a little bit.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I'm learning.
Cooking is-
That's what I'm learning now.
Yeah. Yeah. Cooking is interesting. All the stuff way back in the day, which was, what do you say? It's gourmet today, but back then it wasn't. It was just regular, oxtails.
That's what we
right?
did. Yeah.
Oh, that was just the stuff that was left over. That was the scraps.
Right.
Today it's a delicacy. Like chicken. I don't know. A lot of people don't like chicken feet. I happen to love it. I don't know.
Yeah,
what's
chicken
wrong
feet.
with it.
Come on, bring it.
Listen, but today, back then, it was the scraps.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting how certain things evolve into being like this great big chitlins.
Right.
Stuff like that.
Chitlins
Yeah.
and grits people eat. Yeah, it's like,
There you go. There you go. So, yeah.
like pepper pot was a kind of a scrap dish, right? That's how they.
What
That's
is
why
it?
they. Yeah, because they cooked it because when they're out in the jungles or whatever, or they didn't have refrigerators, it would last.
Right, because pepper pot ages so well.
Yeah.
And
Sop it up with
so
some bread. Come on now.
Listen to me. That's why people only ate it once a year. Once a year.
I want to have some right now. So you waking up my
Listen.
appetite.
Didn't you make it once? We had that
I mean,
conversation,
I've
right?
I've
I owe
made
you
it.
some.
I've made it, but I'm not a pepper pot like guru. But I mean, I made it and it was good, and me and Charmaine ate it because we like some pepper pot. But I gotta get the for real flavor thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I owe you some. I think we had this discussion a few. Yeah, all right. So I'm gonna stop now. Yeah, I owe you some.
I gotta get some Kazreep.
But I Kazrip, I pretty much like the burnt sugar.
Okay, you prefer that. Okay.
Yeah, I mean Kazrip has all the flavor in it. It's got spices and seasonings in it. But Daddy never made it that way. Well,
Right. Well,
yeah, he never really made it that way. He always burnt the sugar.
Burnt his own sugar, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah. So here's a question for you.
Yeah.
And people ask me this, like, now I know you went to school, but prior to you going to school, where did you learn to cook? Or how did you learn to cook?
Watching Auntie Lou cook. Then you started to try to be Mr. Chef. Daddy did. Everybody had their own specific thing that they did. So you just watched and you learned. You learned from there. And then you, as my son says, I put a twist on it.
You put a twist.
You put a twist on it. You put your own twist on it and make it your own. But just from everybody, just watching them cook.
Right.
Cook.
Yeah.
Yeah, seeing what they did, how they did it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's how everybody learned.
Yeah, but there's some
Everybody
people.
learned from watching somebody else.
But there are some people who can't cook. And
Is it they can't cook or they don't want to cook?
No. Like there are some people who, well, they say they can't cook.
Okay. Because
And so
cooking is a skill, learned skill. You can learn.
Right. So I wonder, like, obviously people who didn't grow up in a home where, regular home, they wouldn't learn how to cook. But for people like were in houses where mama cooked, daddy cooked, grandma cooked, and they don't cook. And I wonder whether they, like you said, they do know to cook, but they've never exercised the skill. Like they don't like go in the kitchen and try to, like I go in the kitchen, I grab a pan, and Charmaine will say to me when I pick up a pan, she says, "What are you cooking?" I say, "I don't know."
Yeah.
I know I got some
Whatever
chicken,
comes
I
out.
got some vegetables, I've got some rice that I'm gonna make, and it's gonna come out to be something.
Yeah,
And I
never
don't
has
have a
to.
recipe. It just
It's
it's coming out
stew
of my
or
head.
bake something.
Bake something.
I mean, I think the people who don't cook or can't cook,
Mm-hmm.
right? Maybe they don't just because they had so many people around them that did cook that they just did not have to.
Well, yeah.
There's a possibility,
Hmm.
So they never really had to exercise the skill or perfect it.
Right.
And maybe till they left, then they figure, well, shoot, Mama live up across the street or up the block,
Right. So I don't have to.
My
I don't
sister
have
could cook.
to.
I could go over there.
Right. Hmm.
So yeah, yeah. But I mean,
Interesting. Cool.
mhm.
Cool.
Yeah,
Um.
yeah.
So we got. Let's see what's going on. We got graduation coming up this month.
Oh,
Oh, I got to
this
talk
month?
to you about that. Yeah, I got to talk to you about that offline.
Okay, okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, man, we're going to ninth grade. We're going to high school.
Ooh.
I'm so excited and scared.
Yeah. Well, it's uphill from here, and then it goes downhill. But it's uphill from there.
Yeah,
It's gonna be an interesting climb. You're gonna love it and hate it.
yeah. I mean, he's a good kid. He's just, smart kid. We were actually just talking a little while ago, and
Mhm.
it's funny. We're at the place now, and not just now. Like we've been there, where we
Mhm.
actually have conversations, like
Okay.
for real conversations.
Mhm.
And so one of the things that I will ask him to do is, we'll go out. I'll go outside to do something in the yard, and that used to be like a big deal. Like I don't want to go
Mhm.
outside and right. So this season, what I did was I used to go and I would trim the bushes with the hedger and cut stuff and lop them off, lopping off branches and cut grass or whatever. And then he would be the one to clean up the grass and stuff. And so what I do now is I let him do the tools. Like so he's
Mhm.
cutting stuff and so he enjoys doing that, and then I'll go and I'll clean up the thing. So he's enjoying using the power tools.
Oh, nice. Hey, all guys
So
seem to like power. Why do you guys like power tools and electronics?
cars, electronics. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
just
what is that about? Like all guys, like there's well maybe a few, but all seem to like those two things.
it's just I
What
guess
is
just
it?
a
The
thing.
power behind them? The what?
You remember Tim the Tool Man Taylor?
Yes,
Remember him? Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. That's just how we
It's
that's
like a
how we
guy
roll.
thing.
That's how we roll.
Mm, I don't know. Maybe it's
And
all direct. Girls like fluff.
yeah,
It's just
yeah.
streamlined. It's either you do this or you do that to get this
Mhm.
result. So you get that with electronics, you get that with tools, you get that with cars. Right?
Mhm.
So maybe
Mhm.
that's what it is. You guys are wired that way. We like to shop in, right? So that's the fluff.
Mhm.
Maybe I
Yeah.
want this or that. Right?
Right.
So I guess that's what it is.
But and that is um and I'm pausing here. I say, do I want to get into this whole so there is that you can see I got my eyes closed and everything because I'm thinking. So there is that bent for guys. This is what they do. Bent for girls. This is what they do.
Mhm.
And I think look, I'm being very cautious. I think there's just some stuff. Yeah, there's just guys like this and girls like that.
Yeah.
And sometimes we get into these discussions about oh, that shouldn't be. We should make more boys play with or do different things, and we should make more girls do these other things. And I think we get into
Sure.
trouble when we start trying to do trying to make everybody the same.
The same.
That's all I'm gonna
Yeah,
say
no.
because I don't want. Yeah, I don't want.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
You get
So
what I'm
I'm gonna
saying?
just say I like being a girl. And I like all the fluff that comes with it. Yes. And I'm gonna leave that there.
yeah. This is a whole can of worms if
It's
we
you know,
get more
I
into
was
that.
is I'm not continuing with it, but I have some stuff that I was listening to pretty much all day
Hmm.
about the non-spoken stuff.
Hmm. Yeah. So
Interesting, interesting.
it is. It's an
Yeah.
interesting world that we live in. And I can't imagine. Well, I guess I can imagine because I've lived through it. So from the time our parents were young and going through, and then now we went through, and
Mm-hmm.
then
And
our
I'm
kids are now
children.
going through. And your
Mm-hmm.
son is older than mine, so he has gone through some stuff
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't there. Well, he's gone through some stuff, and now Blake is going to go through some things that wasn't there when your son was going through. And
Right.
my nieces and nephews who are younger are going to be going through some, and it is just
Yeah,
it can boggle the mind. It boggles my mind.
it does. It does.
And
It's
there are all these, there are all the actual things and practical things, and then there's all the conspiracy stuff that people are adding on top of stuff, and it just makes the world so interesting. I keep saying
yeah,
that word.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It is. It is. I mean, sometimes you don't even know what to do.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Like
that
today, I was listening
interesting.
to the whole digital currency debate.
Mm,
That's a big one. And, we should have Esmond come on when we have that conversation.
yeah, yeah. He's good to have a conversation with regarding that.
Right. So, because
Yeah.
there's a because when you hear it from both sides, I'm like, okay, that could be true. Okay, that could be true. Oh yeah.
Hmm.
So it's like, okay, what
Like,
is
which
what
side do
is
you choose?
real? Yeah, what is real and what is fake?
Yeah. Yep.
So,
Yep. You don't know. You don't
mhm,
know.
so
Yeah, you gotta pick a side. Pick a
we can just
side. That's
can
a
we
whole
just
different
stay in the middle?
conversation.
Can we just
Hmm?
stay in the middle? Can we just stay in the middle?
Can't stay. Can't stay in the middle. You
Can't
gotta pick a
stay.
side.
You gotta pick a side.
You gotta pick
Yeah,
a side. But that we always knew, right? So
yeah.
it's here.
It's here. Yeah.
You gotta pick a side.
Right. That's what they've been saying. I mean, that's what we
Yeah.
from the time we were like
Yeah.
young.
And this is what we didn't know. We actually thought it would be like a physical
Hmm.
thing on you, like on
Hmm.
your person. And
Right.
it's really not.
Yeah.
It's not.
Well, in
So
Denmark, I mean, I'm going based on some. They have the RFID chip
I've heard
that
about
that
that.
a lot of people have implanted. So they scan and they can buy stuff or whatnot.
Yeah, we ain't doing that.
Um,
Mm-mm. Were
if you have
was
to.
it that a choice or is it
Oh
something
yeah,
that
yeah.
they
This is just.
okay.
I don't think it's mandatory. I think these are just people who are in. They. I mean, they had a choice. It's like, hey, it's kind of like iPhone, right? So you got Android, and you got
Hmm.
iPhone people. People
Hmm.
pay for iPhones, and some people wonder, it's like, man, so why would you pay $300-$400, $500, $600 for a phone when you can get an Android for $100?
Why you gotta talk about my Android like that though? Like seriously?
No,
Why
I'm
I
not
gotta
saying
be?
anything bad about it.
I
I'm
know,
just
I know, I
saying,
know.
I'm saying, why would you do it? So people are lining up to give thousands of dollars for a phone when they can get a phone for a fraction of the cost.
Yeah, yeah.
And so same thing, people say, oh, people are not going to do that. Well, there are some people who they're like, I mean, I love digital, right? So let me just go
Mm-hmm.
they put whatever digital you got, let's do it, right? And so it becomes a thing. And if enough people do it, then that's the thing.
See, nah.
They're like, you bought too many hamburgers today. No more money for you.
Hey,
Turn
nah.
off your money.
See,
Turn off
that's
your money.
crazy. But I mean, that's the scary part of it. Like they can monitor your money and cut you off and all kinds of stuff.
Mm.
That's crazy. That's like all cars going electric, right?
Hmm. Yeah, they're gonna be
Would they
like,
be
okay, you
able to
can't go
access
there,
your car from anywhere and shut you down? You
and
you
bring you
on
to,
run,
and bring if you're in the run, they bring you to the police station.
right? They
They
take over
find
the
your car
car.
and just just come on over
You're
here.
gonna be like Mad Max. You're gonna
Yeah,
have all the outlaw people with regular cars that we have now. All right. And then the big thing is you gotta get gasoline. I mean,
right.
that's gonna be the big thing.
That's gonna be the money. That's gonna be the currency.
Yes, yes. It's interesting. It's
Hmm.
exciting, like you said, and scary at the same time. Because with all these new technologies coming in, you realize that the government or whomever has
Hmm.
more control.
Yeah.
They really do, and they could. Now who's going to what are they going to do? How good or bad are they really?
Right.
You know.
Yeah. And
So
that's the thing,
that
right?
that
The
becomes
technology itself is not good or bad. It's the people who
right.
are
Use
using the
it.
technology and what are they
Yeah,
using it for. So
exactly. Yeah, so that's where it becomes. I can't drive, so
so
no,
you don't
I
have to
could
worry.
drive. I just can't pass the test.
Well, come on, come on. Well, all you need to do is get you a self-driving car. It'd be good.
Listen, nah, because then somebody could take it over. Like, no.
Oh, that is funny.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know.
But
All
yeah,
the
I love
things
technology,
happening.
and so I mean, it is. I won't say it is what it is, but you know, technology is in all of our lives right now,
Mm-hmm.
and so we just need to, and that's what this thing I was watching said, is that yet
Mm-hmm.
it's the technology is here, but we are the ones who drive, and we have to be the ones who drive it,
Right.
right?
Right.
Because if we just throw our hands up and we sit back, then there are things that are going to be implemented that aren't what we want, and then we're going to look back
Mm.
and say, how did that happen? Well, it happened because
Did
nobody said
anything.
anything. We just allowed it
Right.
to
You
allowed it
just
to
lied.
come.
You didn't pick a side.
Right? Pick a side.
You didn't
Pick a
pick a
side.
side.
Pick a side. So, all right. So, wow, that time went by quickly.
It did. It did. This was a
It's
great
already
conversation.
already an hour. Yeah. All right. So, what do you want people to get from tonight? We talked about a bunch of. We talked about hospital and billing. We talked about this RFID chip. We talked about
Oh
not
man,
crypto,
I
but we
don't
talked about
know.
digital currency.
I don't know. What do I want them to do? I hope you
I
enjoyed the show tonight.
well, I think just be aware. Maybe right. So maybe that's a
Yeah.
one to be
Yeah.
aware
Yeah.
of stuff in your life.
Mm-hmm.
I did my blog for today was what things you can do to make behavioral change. Make behavioral change. And the first, well, not the first one, but one of them was to assess, like,
Yeah.
what's going on. I mean, are there things in my life that I need to change, that I should change? Are there things that are affecting my family, my business, my
Mm-hmm.
right? So, for instance, procrastination is a behavioral issue, right? So, if you always stressed out, your stuff is always late. It's affecting
Mm-hmm.
your promotions at work. It's affecting your money, obviously. If it's affecting your promotions, then that's one
Mm-hmm.
that you should change. But you got to be aware of you. You've got to be.
Yeah.
Sometimes we put our heads down in the sand and we're oblivious to how
What's
life is
going
happening.
on?
But we can't do that. I mean, the life is too complicated. Like back in the day, you could be on your farm and just hang out at your house with your family, and that was
Mm-hmm.
good. But now
Mm-hmm.
life
Not
is too
today.
complicated for you to be able to do that. So you gotta get out there. You gotta start reading. You gotta start
Mm-hmm.
interacting, and just be
Mm-hmm.
conscious of what's happening. So that's my thought.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a good
Yeah.
one.
Cool.
Be aware.
Well, guys, we thank you for being here. If you have not already done so, please go ahead and get over to our YouTube channel and subscribe to the channel. Hit the subscription button so that you'll know when we go live and when we have more videos that we will put up. And then just, go back and look at some of the other videos as we talk. We're building a library, and as you see, this is Talk Time with the Woods is what we're calling these most recent ones. Get in there, watch them, comment, let us know, drop us a line, let us know that you're out there, and we will see you back at the next video. This is Dwayne.
This is Danita. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Thank you much. And I gotta get down here to the Into the Woods thing. There it is. Boom.
It's this toast. I don't know. It's not